Ever since I went up to the Northeast back in the summer of 2020, I always knew I was going to go back. I just didn't think it was going to be this soon. Welcome to the Steaming Through Pennsylvania video series. This series will go over a short but plentiful railfetting journey throughout the Keystone State, with a main focus on steam. But that doesn't mean we leave out some of the more modern stuff, as seen here with the SEPTA commuter train running from terminal to terminal, picking up and dropping off passengers at the Philadelphia International Airport. After a brief stroll around Philly, it was time to revisit the Northeast Corridor. So, remember the last Northeast Corridor video I made? I said that that trip would have been the last time I would see an Acela? Well, thankfully I was wrong. Also, enjoy this meet. At around 2:15, we saw our second SEPTA train of the day pull into the Croydon station stop. Not long after, we saw the northbound counterpart to 717, led by SEPTA's older Silverliner series EMUs. While this may or may not be the last Acela I see, this was definitely the last one of the trip. We also got a nice horn show out of it too. This southbound Northeast Regional would also be the last Northeast Regional for the trip. After fighting Philadelphia rush hour traffic, we finally made it to Strasburg, our base for this trip. Shortly after we arrived, Strasburg 89 was working up the hill just outside of East Strasburg Yard, hauling the Diamond Heist train. This new train Strasburg just recently started up offers guests the opportunity to enjoy a live show on board, while the train makes its usual journey to Paradise and back. Since the last time we were here, 89's whistle got swapped. Last year it was a Pennsylvania Railroad 3 chime, but as of when we were there in September 2021, it was a Pennsylvania Railroad Banshee whistle. A very fitting name indeed. Once 89 returned back to Strasburg for the Diamond Heist train, it was 475's time to shine as the power for the last hourly excursion train of the day. Norfolk and Western 475 was built in 1906 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works just 2 hours east of Strasburg in Philadelphia. 475 is a unique locomotive as it is the only operating 480 or Mastodon on the continent. N&W preferred these types of locomotives over the more common 282 or Mikado wheel arrangement as the Mastodons had better wheel-to-rail adhesion, a must for hauling heavy trains through the mountains of Virginia. The N&W used 475 and other Mastodons to haul the increasingly heavy coal trains of the time, but as bigger and more powerful engines came along, such as the N&W's famous Malays like 1218, 475 and the rest of the Mastodons were relegated to branch line freight service. The most famous of these branch line freights was the Virginia Creeper, a local freight train that ran on the N&W's Abingdon branch. This train was also a favorite of famous railroad photographer O. Winston Link. After 475 was retired from the N&W, the Mastodon had found its way over to the Boone Scenic Railroad in Boone, Iowa. But in 1991, the Strasburg Railroad purchased 475 from the Boone Scenic and eventually restored it to operating condition in 1993 and has been hauling Strasburg's passenger and freight trains ever since.
You just needed the beard. Come on, you should grow a Jason beard. Or Jacob beard, I'm sorry. Huh? A Jacob
Well, we tried chasing 475. Guess we just took too long to pack up and move to the next spot.
I know a good place to set up. Oh, the cemetery.
Just as we got to the other side of the crossing to set up for 475's return trip, the main reason we returned to Strasburg caught us completely off guard. More on 611 in the next video. As our final shot of the day, here's 475 charging up the hill at Carpenters Crossing on its way back to Strasburg. Hope you all enjoyed the first part of Steaming Through Pennsylvania. Be sure to stay tuned for part 2, where we ride behind and chase the spirit of Roanoke.